Hey guys, welcome to M&M PTE NAATI. Today's video is a continuation of the short series that we have started, and today's topic is one of the most important topics of your PTE exam, and that is read aloud. The reason I always emphasize a lot on this topic is because it is the very first question of your exam, and whenever we go and we are preparing for our exam and we are ready to give our exam, we are in the examination center, we are definitely nervous thinking, how will I how will I perform, and will I get my desired score or not. That stress is definitely at its peak at the very beginning of the exam, and the first question when you have to tackle something like read aloud, it is very easy to make mistakes in read aloud because of that pressure. So let us understand few tips that I have for you all that you can use while preparing for your read aloud, and then let's do a sample question. Let's get started. Before I dive deep into the topic, I want to share that if you are looking for any help in your PTE preparation or your NAATI, Hindi, Gujarati or Punjabi preparation, you can always get in touch with us using Instagram or Facebook Messenger. The links for Instagram and Messenger, Facebook Messenger is in the description below, or you can simply search M&M PTE NAATI and you'll find us. So what are those tips that I first want to share regarding read aloud in your PTE exam? The very first thing that I said is that it's the very first question of your exam. So it is very easy to make mistakes in read aloud because you are nervous. You have that performance pressure in your head that I need to get my desired score, and that's why you will make mistakes. You will fumble, you will hesitate, you might make mistakes as in pronouncing words or different sort of errors. You have to be very careful, and the only way to avoid these errors is by practicing a lot of questions on regular basis. So we know that read aloud because we are reading a paragraph. So you are reading and you're speaking. Hence the scores will go to reading and speaking, both the sections. In exam, you can expect 6 to 7 questions for read aloud in your PTE exam. And speaking gets something between 20 to 25 out of 90 based on the number of questions you have in exam, and reading gets something from 35 to 40 out of 90. Now it can be anything, but you have to understand one thing, that when you're preparing read aloud, you're not only preparing your speaking section, you're also preparing your reading section. And not just preparing, if you look at the number 35 to 40, pretty close to 50%, right? That's a huge number. So you are preparing your reading section to a greater extent. Hence, read aloud is one of those topics you cannot compromise. Now, when we talk about read aloud, what all things should one focus on? There are 3 parameters that I want to share: fluency, pronunciation, and content. All right. These are the 3 parameters on the basis of which you get marked, and hence you have to focus on all 3. All 3 are important. You cannot just focus on 1 or 2 and then leave the rest. All right. You have to have a balance of all 3 of them. Fluency. What is fluency? There are a lot of people out there who think speaking fast is fluency. No. Fluency means if you can speak without hesitation, if you can speak without fumbling. So the way I am speaking right now, even that is considered fluent, not because I am speaking very fast or very slow, but because if I am speaking without hesitation, that means I'm able to communicate without hesitation. Hence, my speaking would be considered fluent, not because I am someone who can read something very fast. Because if you want to read something very fast, then we have robots for that, right? So the computer or Pearson is not there to test whether you are a robot or a human being. They are very well aware that you are a human being, and they will expect you to speak like a human being, read like a human being. So there is no need for you to read extremely fast just so that someone has told you that read very fast and you get your desired score. That is wrong. The next thing I have shared over here is pronunciation. Now, what is pronunciation? The way we speak, the clarity. If I am speaking something and you are able to understand what I am saying, then my pronunciation is clear. Whatever I am reading has to be very clearly understandable by the computer. Now over here you have to be very You have to understand one thing, that you are reading a passage for computer, for a software. You're not reading it for a human being. There is a huge difference between a human being listening to you and a software listening to you. Human being might sometimes understand what you're saying because one human being is talking to the other, but when it is for a software, you have to make sure that you take that extra effort of speaking something very clearly, and the software should register every single word that you're speaking, that is coming out of your mouth, because you've spoken every word clearly. How should one do that? The way I'm talking right now, I'm purposely talking like this. Why? Because I want to make the use of my jaw. I want to open my mouth a little big. Pronunciation doesn't mean, clear pronunciation doesn't mean I have to shout or scream in the exam. No, that is not at all required. You're wearing a very good quality headphone which has a mic. Computer does not expect you to shout. Don't think if you shout or if you scream or if you raise your volume, that's when you get a good score. That is not true. If you speak at a normal volume, the way you normally speak in your everyday life, you will still get a full score, not only in Read Aloud, but throughout your speaking exam. So you have to keep this thing in mind. Open your mouth a little wide, use your jaws, and take some effort in speaking. Don't speak like a dead person with no efforts. Put some energy in your speaking. Energy as in some effort, some emphasis on words in your speaking. That will make your pronunciation more clear. All right. And the last thing that one should focus on is content. Now, when we say content, anything that you read in your passage is a part of your content. So what I would recommend is, do not add anything and do not miss anything. Read it exactly the way it is given to you. That is how you get a full score for your content. The next thing that I want to discuss is very famous these days. Pretty much every student is talking about it. They have seen some videos or they have read it somewhere. They have they have some students who might have used it, or their friends who might have used it and have referred it to them. One line strategy. So basically, there are people out there who have gone through an experience where they might have read just one single line in the entire Read Aloud passage, and that's how they've got a very good score or their desired score. Is it something that is working? Maybe it is working, maybe it is not working, who knows? Is it advisable? Not at all. It might have worked for someone. I'm not denying the fact that everybody who might have experienced it is lying. No, I'm not saying that. Somebody might have got their scores, but what if you don't get it? What is the guarantee that if you use this one line strategy, you will definitely get your score? You have to understand one thing. Pearson is giving you 6 to 7 read aloud questions. Every paragraph, every question has maybe 2 lines, 3 lines, or 4 lines. If by just reading one line you can get a full score, your desired score, let's say your desired score is 8 each or 7 each. If you can get your desired score just by reading one line, wouldn't PT be very easy for every single student to clear? Why would students struggle if this is such an easy exam? So it may have worked for some people. I'm not denying that fact. Again, I would repeat myself, but I would never recommend this strategy to any of my students, because you never know when Pearson would fix their glitch or software error or whatever. And maybe when you go and give your exam by spending that money and you go and use that strategy, it doesn't work for you. And then you come back and you're like, I used it, but it didn't work for me. You realize that by paying so many dollars, right? So I would never recommend it. Practice it in a way that you read the entire paragraph and not just one line strategy. How many questions should I practice? Again, a very common questions that students have. I would recommend every single student who is aiming to get their desired score in PT to practice Read Aloud every single day, 7 days a week, because it is a very important topic. A lot of students, they underestimate this topic thinking it is just read aloud. There is a passage on my computer screen. My English is very good. I'll just read it. There's nothing to practice. No, please don't do that. Practice exam questions and do not underestimate this topic. Let's say you need 8 each, right? Then you should practice around 15 read alouds a day. If you need 7 each, pretty much 10 to 12 read alouds a day is fine. And if you need 6 each or anything below 6 each, target practicing 8 to 10 read alouds a day. If you are doing more than that, there is no harm in it. But this is a figure, a number that I have given, like the least possible number. You should not go below that. But if you're going above that number, you're practicing more questions. Let's say you're practicing 20 read aloud. Absolutely no harm. More the merrier. But yes, this is the minimum that I've shared with you, right? Is accent important? Again, a very common question, and I've seen a lot of students, when they speak, they change their accent just because they think if they speak like X country's accent or any country's accent, they will get more marks, they will get higher scores. You have to understand one thing. PTE is given by students from so many different countries, okay? China, India, and so many other countries, Asian countries, and many other countries, European countries. Can everyone have same accent? Absolutely not. Forget different countries. People from same country and different parts of the country don't have same accent, right? So if you're not born in a country, you cannot develop their accent overnight. Unless you try to create a fake accent, it is still very clear. If I listen to some students, I can understand that they are trying their level best to create their fake accent. It is not at all required. It is not at all needed. We still stick to our accent. Like if I have my Indian accent, there is nothing wrong with it. If I was born there, if I was brought up in that country, if I studied there for so many years, I will have that accent. Just because I've been in this country for so many years, I cannot change my accent because I want to do a read aloud. Stick to your accent. It will give you a good score. People from different countries, they still get 90 out of 90. They stick to their accent. You are putting in your passport details while you book your exam. Software exactly knows which country do you come from. They know what accent do you have. It is all very smart. You don't need to change your accent for this exam. Please don't do it. Stick to your normal accent. That will help you focus on other elements like fluency, pronunciation, and content that actually are the reason that one would get their desired score. The next is, how loud should I be? I've already shared and discussed that. So just keep your normal volume and there's no need to scream and shout, right? Now let us do a sample question. All right. Now let's say this is a read aloud in front of me on my computer screen. The first thing that happens is they will give you some time to prepare, which is your preparation time. So let's say they've given you 20 or 25 seconds to prepare, and then they will give you the same amount of answering time. Now preparation time is very crucial. You cannot skip it, and there is no need to skip it because you have to prepare the passage first. If you don't prepare it, then it is very easy for you to make mistakes in your answering time. And while you are speaking in your answering time, every word you're speaking is getting recorded. So you're getting scored on the basis of what you speak in answering time. You can make as many mistakes as you want during your preparation time because whatever you speak in that time is not getting recorded. So I will prepare by speaking loudly. Again, something I've observed in a lot of students. When they prepare, they will read it in their mind, as in there is no volume, there is no word that is audible out of their mouth. Please don't do it. It is like there is a singing competition and you are preparing how to sing in that singing competition by singing in your head. Will it work? No. You have to sing actually. That's when you can perform in that singing competition. You have to dance actually so that you can perform in a dance competition. Similarly, you have to read normally, as in you have to read loudly like this, the way I'm talking, so that when you are speaking in your answering time, you don't make any mistakes. Your brain is familiar with every single word that is included in the passage. So let's say this is my preparation time. I'll keep my finger or a pen on the screen and I'll read the paragraph at least once. If I have more time, I will try and read it twice. But if not twice, read it at least once. If you feel after reading it once you have some time left, but that time is not enough to read the entire paragraph again, what you can do is just go through the long words or difficult words and try to read them 2-3 times, or the words which have S at the end. Read it 5-6 times. That's it. That is how you prepare for your read aloud. Okay, and then when the answering time starts, you can start answering. Okay, let's say this is my preparation time. How would I prepare? Like this. A community's urban forest is an extension of its pride and community spirit. Trees enhance community economic stability by attracting businesses and tourists, as people tend to linger and shop longer along tree-lined streets. Apartments and offices in wooded areas rent more quickly, and businesses leasing office spaces in developments with trees reported higher productivity and fewer absences. Let's say I have 5-6 seconds left or 3-4 seconds left. Absences, developments, trees, businesses, extension, pride, community. All I'm doing is I want my brain to understand, my eyes to understand what is in the passage. Let's familiarize ourselves. Let us make ourselves very comfortable with the passage so that when answering time starts, I'm all ready to perform. That is what I'm doing. So now, let's say my answering time has started. How would I read? A community's urban forest is an extension of its pride and community spirit. Trees enhance community economic stability by attracting businesses and tourists, as people tend to linger and shop longer along tree-lined streets. Apartments and offices in wooded areas rent more quickly, and businesses leasing office spaces in developments with trees reported higher productivity and fewer absences. So what are the things that I focused on? I've taken my pauses wherever I had to, otherwise I cannot breathe. If I try to read the entire paragraph in one breath without pausing, it is very difficult that I can maintain the level of clarity which I had at the beginning till the end. Okay, so I normally pause at a full stop. That makes it very easy for me to keep a track record of where am I pausing, or if there is any other punctuation like comma. These are the places I definitely pause so that I can breathe and I can calm myself down and I can maintain the level of clarity. Also, I am very conscious when I pronounce a word which has S at the end, plural. Those are the places where it is very easy to mess with the pronunciation. You might read it very fast and the S word is not audible. So those are the words where I put a little bit of effort, emphasis, I would say, or stress, so that they turn out very clearly. The software can understand that yes, this is a plural word. Okay, so I would read it in a flow with confidence, with clarity, mouth wide open, jaws moving, not taking any stress, pause where I need to pause so that I can breathe and maintain my flow, not hesitate and fumble. That is how I can maintain my fluency and pronunciation, and not messing with the content. Reading exactly what is given to you on your computer screen is how you get a full score for your content. If you keep these basic tips in mind, Read Aloud is very easy to smash. I hope this video was helpful. If you need any further help with regards to your PTE or NAATI preparation, do not hesitate to contact us, and we are always there to help you. Bye for now.